Alrighty, welcome everybody to Aspen Updates in an Instant for release 2108. Um, we had originally intended to deploy this Thursday night. I'm going to hold it until next Tuesday, just to give us a little bit of extra time to get a few extra fun things into Aspen, as well as do some testing and just make sure everything is perfect before we roll it out. So we will be deploying this to test systems here in the next day or two. So they'll definitely be updated by Thursday for sure, so that people can do some testing on their local test systems. So let's go through some of the big things that we've done. So the first thing, Kristen's been working really hard on a lot of the account integration functionality, especially the freeze thaw holds. So we now have the ability to select multiple holds, to freeze, thaw, cancel. Um, so let's take a look at that now. So here is my account. We are able to go through and say, hey, let's freeze these couple. We'll just freeze the top three here. Down at the bottom, we get a freeze selected. So we'll freeze those and it'll go through, freeze them, and then update them. And depending on the ILS, it will take longer or shorter, depending on how long the ILS takes to freeze things. So there we get all three of those were frozen successfully, and it's just going to refresh our list of holds here. So in a second here, it'll update, and we'll see that those are all frozen. We can also cancel multiple things. So here, let's let that update. So there we see those three were frozen. We can also cancel things. So if I decided I didn't want Owly and the White Wolf, I can cancel those things. So we'll cancel those selected holds. Those were canceled, and it'll go through and update here in just a second so that those are gone. So just a nice way of interacting or a nice way of updating all of those holds. This has been one of the more requested features we've had for a long time. And then if you're going on vacation, you can also always just freeze everything, so that nothing will come in while you're on vacation, and then thaw it again once you're back. This will work for both e-content that is possible to be thawed and frozen. So if you've got overdrive materials, you can freeze those. Canceling works, so no matter what e-content source that's available. So that's all really cool functionality, and lots of users should be really excited about that. We have done a bunch of work with indexing as well. So I'm just going to go through some of the highlights. So for people that are using the default or the bib level kind of way of just looking at the entire bib record, we're adding support for book plus CD, book plus DVD, CD plus book, all based off physical descriptions within the MARC record, as well as book club large print titles. So these are all things that we've found as we've gone through Black Gold's collection. So these are some of the things, like if we've got a book in CD, a lot of times it's a kid's book with an accompanying audio track. These are, or book and DVD, they'll have here's our format. Book and DVD will be like a book with like a lot of times they're fiction, like the Ballerina Step-by-Step Guide to Ballet or oil painting. So we can see that there's a DVD included there as well. And then we'll work to make sure that those are showing by default when we select them. And then the large print book club kits, we've got some of those now as well, where we've been previously detecting book club kits, but we've needed to detect when they've got a large print edition as well. So getting more types of unique materials, which is fun. One of the other like really big things we've been working on the back end with a goal towards improved performance for indexing, as well as just giving us more capabilities in the future, is we're moving some of the information from the Solar record into MySQL. So we've had record details, item details, and scope details that previously were all stored within Solar. Some of those, especially the scoping information, was kind of stored redundantly. That will now be stored within MySQL. The main reason that we're going to push the release back a couple of days till next Tuesday is to make sure that that functionality is all working well. There are potentially a few integrations that we're working on updating. So some of the app-based things that are using our APIs, there's a few places we've seen that people are using those directly, as well as things like Anode API uses those directly. There is the ability in system variables to revert back to the old way of doing it if we have to, but we're liking the new way of doing things. It does seem to be better in terms of performance, so that's good. Other things we've done, just some other things. Overdrive APIs, we were seeing cases where records were getting deleted when Overdrive was returning errors, which sporadically will just get messages that the server isn't responding properly for like one request. So it's just retrying those more times, and then also making sure that we don't delete things if we get 500 errors. We've done a lot of work with Polaris, and there will definitely be more of that over the coming week or so that we still have before development. So more work on holds, loading, reading history. Polaris just does some unique and fairly cool things with holds, where instead of just returning, hey, the hold works or doesn't, there's a third case where it's the hold works, but are you sure you want to do that? So we'll be handling that properly. Kipu eCard functionality is now available. So if a patron does not have a card, so let's just log out here. We can go to the Get a Library card from their patron resources. This will display Kipu's eCard functionality for libraries that subscribe to eCard. That's all now available and works well within Aspen for you. Yeah, and then just some other little fixes that we have, some web builder things, some cleanup related to that, as well as updates if multiple libraries in a consortia all have like a /home alias. That's going to work properly for everybody. So that's super quick updates in an instant for 2108. Does anybody have any questions that they'd like to go over? All right, going once, going twice, going 3 times. We'll be respectful of your time, and thanks everybody for coming to Aspen Updates in an Instant. We're looking forward to getting this release out to you next week. So have a great 4th of July, everyone, and we will talk to you soon.